Alright everybody, I'm taking another break, a little early. I suffer from bipolar type 2. Mostly I struggle with depression, but every now and then I have a little mania, and I think I'm having right now a little mild mania. Kind of shaking, and so I'm just gonna take a breather, calm down, play some chess. Yeah, I think he's gonna try to set that up. He's gonna put his queen there. But with my pawn there, that's okay. Let's see here. What would be best? I think I'm gonna do that. I'm going to try that, actually. If we exchange queens, that's actually pretty good for me. Because now I have a nice sort of, it's sort of a squared position with my rooks on the queen side. Seeing as my opponent has castled queen side, it just seems logical to do that. But he may not exchange queens. Alright, again, he's trying to get my rook. He's doing his best to get my rook. So I have to come back here. You know what? See, now if I come here, he can give a check there. Now that's going to force me to come here, and now he can win my rook. By going like so. So, I'm going to have to come here. That does appear to be a safe dark square for me. Now he can only give check on 2 squares. Well, 3. He can go here. He can go here. Actually, 4 squares. He can go here. And he's likely going to maybe try that. In that case, I might consider coming here. Because now he has to give check on a light square, or he can shift to a dark square. But then I can come back here. That's an interesting decision there. If I were to take the bishop, the queen could take, the queen could take my bishop, and also my rook, actually both rooks. That would be devastating. Okay, so I do believe I'm going to castle queenside. I think that's a pretty safe move. Very interesting. I rarely castle queenside unless I'm sort of obliged to, as in that last game. Or sometimes I'll castle queenside if my opponent does the same. But typically I castle kingside. It's in most cases a safer position after castling for the king. Alright, I'm going to take that pawn. Yeah, I think that's okay. Now, if he brings his rook down, which likely he will, now I can't come there, and I can't come here to bring another defender on my knight at c3, so I have to come here. The only problem is that breaks my defense on my pawn at e5. But let's say he tries to pressure it. I'd probably just exchange any pressure from a pawn. If he tries to pressure with the queen, this would be a very good move for him. I'd have to do this, and now he would have... Well, no. Actually, I don't necessarily need to protect the knight now that I look at it. Because he's only going to bring one attacker on. My bishop would suffice. That's good. So if he does take the pawn with the rook, I have an opportunity for some counterplay. Yeah, see, that's what I said he was going to do. I'm going to have to give up my rook. It's a bummer. So you'll take here. I'm probably going to try something like this. Oh well, made a bit of a blunder there. Maybe more of a mistake. When you analyze a chess game, there are blunders. That's where you like just drop your queen. Mistakes, which perhaps we could say what I did in that game, losing my rook, was a mistake. And inaccuracies. And inaccuracy could be something very subtle. The wrong pawn move, letting your pawns get stacked, or letting your opponent create an isolated pawn for you. Those last two may be more of mistakes. It's sort of subjective to a point. All right, again, I believe I was saying I'm going to castle long in this game, well into the development. Alright, I'm going to come there. He may most likely play that, and then I could pressure the rook. And I'm not sure what he would do. He might do that. If that's the case, I'll probably just start pushing my pawn and perhaps sacrificing the knight. So he'd be obliged to come there. Very likely we would then see an exchange of these passed pawns, and we'd be even in material. This definitely could end in a draw. It's very likely. Rook, pawn, king endgames, when you have the same amount of material as your opponent, they become very drawish, if you will. Alright, I'm going to exchange queens. Likely he'll take with the knight. That'll give me an opportunity to... oh no, you know what? I'd have to play a Gioco Pianissimo sort of game. I would do this if I were black. Because I'm probably going to try to attack the knight. Then there would most likely be a castling on each side. Alright, so he's going after the pawn. Excuse me, I had a feeling he may try that. So, I'm going to come here. What's good about this is I can take that. Now, he would then probably take that pawn. I might start giving check after that. We may also see an exchange of queens. Okay, I'm gonna have to step back here, it looks like. I think I may offer my opponent a draw on my next move. It's very rare that I offer draws, and it's even rarer that I accept them. It's not something I typically do. Alright, let's keep pushing that pawn. It's going to be his main concern, and it should apply a significant amount of pressure. Just give me 1 second. Okay, interesting. So we see an exchange of queens. It's probably his best option. Now that pass pawn there at e4 is going to be my main concern, and actually, let's go back to that. He'll likely get his rook on the same file. That's a typical tactic. I would then want to get my king involved, because here I can now win that pass pawn, and there would likely be an exchange of rooks. This I could probably get a draw, maybe even a win. Interesting. It's a very interesting decision. Let's see if there's anything better I could do. I think that'll suffice. I'm playing a very Baroque style of chess here. Baroque chess is when you typically don't move your pieces in the opening, and sometimes even the middle game, past the third rank from your home position respectively. In this case, it's actually the sixth rank, but for white it would be the third. As you can see, white is doing something similar. However, white has his queen out in the open and in the mix. Alright, so now he's decided to start pushing that pawn. That's probably a very good decision. I'm going to do the same. Alright, awesome. That's what I wanted to see. So we give a check here with that capture as well. And, you know, he may come here. I would then want to get my rooks filed up together. Also, if he comes there, I can do this, which is not a bad idea, but he could simply defend like that. Okay, that's interesting. All right. Now, if he gives a check, I'm going to just tuck my king here behind my pawns. And he may try pushing that again. Now, unfortunately, he should have put his king on the same file as his pawn, because now he's going to have to defend like that, and I can now cover that. And if he moves his rook off of that rank, I'll win that pass pawn. Wow, all caught up here. Whoop. Hey, perfect timing. All right, later.